Don't ruin your life. Teach your children basic economics and finance. This series is called Don't Ruin Your Life, so you may wonder why there are so many videos about raising children. The answer is simple. If you love your child or children and anything bad happens to them, it can ruin your own life. One bad thing that can happen is for them to be in financial trouble all their lives. The effect it can have on parents, not just mentally but financially, can cause daily distress for years, if not decades. You can do your part as a good parent by teaching them basic economics and finance. Most children grow up never learning anything about these subjects, neither from their parents nor from the educational system. In fact, my exceptionally good parents didn't teach me anything along those lines. If you aren't that familiar with basic economics and finance, then read some books or do research online to refresh your memory or add to your current knowledge. You don't need to delve into anything too complex, just the basics. When you're ready, you can do a little informal homeschooling with your kids. If your children are of average intelligence or better, you can start with the basics as early as 7 or 8 years of age. By basics, I mean things such as why you go to work every day and how the current economic system got started. You can tell this as an interesting story, which in fact it is. Start with prehistoric times when humans wandered around killing animals, picking fruit, and digging up roots for food, making their own clothes, and finding or making shelter. Then how they learned that they could plant certain grass seeds, come back in a few months, and find even more grass seeds to eat, and how this led them to live in one place to grow crops and raise animals to live on, which was the start of villages and then towns and then cities. Then how certain people started to specialize in their jobs, such as making pottery or tools, which they would sell to others for food, for supplies, or for other useful items. Then how money developed from this barter system, and how, nowadays, people are extremely specialized in what they do to earn money. They become grocers, doctors, lawyers, electricians, plumbers, truck drivers, house painters, and so on. This can lead into telling them about your job and what it involves. You may think they won't remember this lead-in story or that the deeper meanings won't sink in, but I'd bet against that. I can still remember books my teachers would read in primary school classes in the quiet time after lunch, or folk tales I heard about or read, or movies and television shows that taught life lessons. When kids are young, their minds aren't crowded with adult concerns and millions of facts, so everything is new and tends to stick, often for a lifetime. When they get older, another method of teaching basic economics and finance would be to give them a book about it, have them read it, and then go through the chapters together, reviewing what they learned, answering their questions, and maybe verbally testing them from time to time. It should be possible to find the right books with an internet search. The following is a list of subjects you might discuss. Some are better suited to teenagers, but don't assume all of them are too complex for a preteen. You might be amazed at what they grasp and retain, even if they don't understand the nuances until they're older. 1. What money is and why you need it unless you're going to grow your own food, make your own clothes, build your own car and house. 2. What a budget is and why you need one. 3. Fixed expenses versus discretionary expenses. 4. Keeping track of your actual income and expenditures. 5. The difference between buying a necessity item versus a luxury item. 6. Examples of borderline necessary items. For example, some household appliances or tools might be expensive, but if they save time, they might be worth the cost. 7. What banks are, how they operate, various types of accounts you can open, and what a bank loan is. 8. The pros and cons of getting a student loan. By the way, for more on that, watch video number 61. 9. Saving and investing for retirement. For more on that, watch video 62. 10. Setting aside funds for emergencies. 11. The differences between saving, investing, and speculating. 12. What stocks and bonds are. 13. What inflation is and how it affects a savings account versus a time account like a CD. For more on that, watch videos number 62 and 69. 14. A credit score and what it means regarding getting a loan to buy a car, a house, etc. 15. Credit cards. Their extreme interest rates, their occasional usefulness if you're careful, and their role in creating a credit record. 16. Taxes. What they are, why we're forced to pay them, who supposedly benefits, and any criticisms you care to throw in minus profanity. By the way, I recommend listening to video number 68 as a reminder to yourself. These topics would be a good start. Again, you might verbally and informally test your children now and then to see what they've retained and to let them ask questions. A final note, my advice here is not an endorsement of our current economic system. There are many aspects of it that I resent and detest. The problem is that unless you can completely separate yourself from the economy, the financial system, and the government, you are currently ensnared in this system to some extent. For that reason, it's better to learn about the system, how to navigate it, and how to prevent it from ruining your life or your children's lives. Don't leave their learning up to chance or to an inadequate educational system. Well, one more final note. Teaching your children these things won't guarantee that they'll be financially successful, of course, but it will guarantee that you're not sending them out into the world totally ignorant of how the money side of the world works. That's part of being a good parent. Well, one more final note. Teaching your children these things won't guarantee that they'll be financially successful, of course, but it will guarantee that you're not sending them out into the world totally ignorant of how the money side of the world works. That's part of being a good parent.